What will January 2025 be remembered for in the crypto community? There have been many bright events, one of which was the pardon of Ross Ulbricht by Donald Trump. Ulbricht is the founder of the infamous darknet platform Silk Road. This story is not about an ordinary crime, but a deep look at a bold experiment to expand the boundaries of human freedom. How did Ulbricht's actions contribute to the popularization of the cryptocurrency? Who is he? A genius, a idealist, or a criminal? And what fate befell the bitcoins of Silk Road? Well, let's figure it out together. Get comfortable, my name is Anna, and let's start from the very beginning. So, on October 1st, 2013, the FBI arrested Ross Ulbricht. He was detained in a library in San Francisco. During a carefully planned operation, they seized a laptop from him, on which he was logged in as the administrator of Silk Road under the pseudonym Dread Pirate Roberts. From now on, this laptop would become the most important trophy for the FBI in the case of the largest darknet marketplace at that time. Daily, transactions were conducted here for the purchase and sale of various illegal goods, including drugs. That's why Silk Road was often compared to the Amazon or eBay, but in the darknet. Although in 2011, then the platform was just launched, it was somewhat of an experiment. If you don't know the history and biography of Ross Ulbricht, at first glance, you might think that this person was deliberately committing a crime. So, in February 2015, the court found Ross Ulbricht guilty on 7 counts, including drug trafficking, conspiracy, money laundering, forgery, and computer hacking. In May of the same year, he was sentenced to a horrific prison term, 2 life sentences and 40 years in prison without the possibility of parole. And yet, from 2014 until his pardon, many people demanded the release of Ross Ulbricht. But why? Ross Ulbricht held libertarian views. He was inspired by economists of the Austrian school, such as Ludwig von Mises. One could say that before creating Silk Road, he was an idealistic libertarian advocating for free markets and privacy. He believed that people have the right to manage themselves as they wish, as long as it does not harm others, and that we deserve to, quote, live in a world without the systemic use of force. To jump ahead, I'll say that Ross wasn't prosecuted for causing harm or bodily injury, and no victim was named at trial. Ross Ulbricht created the platform, but from the perspective of libertarian philosophy, there was no specific victim from its creation. That's why many people, especially supporters of the Libertarian Party in the US, sincerely cared about Ross's fate and actively advocated for his release. Donald Trump effectively made a deal with the Libertarian Party, promising that, if elected, he would pardon the founder of the Silk Road and
if you vote for me on day 1, I will commute the sentence of Ross Ulbricht.
Well, he kept his promise. But why did Silk Road become so popular? The thing is, Ross used Bitcoin as a means of payment for the goods on his platform. Bitcoin became the embodiment and tool for his libertarian ideas. Anonymous payments that occurred without government oversight allowed people to maintain privacy while purchasing goods on Silk Road. The platform provided opportunities for anonymous trading through the Tor network, and almost immediately, alongside legal goods, prohibited items and services began to spread on the platform. The platform itself monetized through commissions, which amounted up to 10% of the transaction size. Since the payments were made in BTC, this contributed to the popularity of the first cryptocurrency. Ulbricht's shadowy platform had a huge impact on the popularization of Bitcoin on the internet. For example, in October 2014, immediately after the arrest of Dread Pirate Roberts, the price of BTC momentarily dropped from about $140 to $110 in the wake of the news before recovering again. In a short period of existence, the platform managed to collect commissions totaling over $80 million, and the user base grew to 1 million people. Just think about it. Between February 2011 and July 2014, the site facilitated sales amounting to 9.5 million BTC. And although the platform was illegal, it was largely thanks to Silk Road that many of the first Bitcoin users actually emerged. All of this certainly contributed to the development of the first services and infrastructure for processing transactions in Bitcoin. Ulbricht's arrest led to debates about the need to regulate Bitcoin, as it then occurred that the status of the payment method used by criminals worldwide. Do you think these are the only consequences? In response to this government intervention in the market, anonymous cryptocurrencies began to evolve and gain traction. For example, Monero was launched in 2014 and Zcash in 2016. Although, to be fair, the first anonymous altcoins began to appear during the time of the Silk Road, such as Bitcoin, the first coin with the cryptonode algorithm. The shadow market and the need for privacy contributed to this as well. So, what happened to those millions of dollars in bitcoins after the arrest? Subsequently, authorities seized the bitcoins belonging to the platform. The FBI managed to seize 174,000 bitcoins in just 2013. Later, on November 3, 2020, observers of the Bitcoin blockchain detected a transaction of over 69,000 BTC. It was later revealed that the transfer had been made by the United States government in a civil forfeiture action. Well, interestingly, shortly before Ulbricht's pardon and Trump's inauguration, the U.S. District Court for the Northern District of California approved the U.S. government's liquidation of 69,370 bitcoins related to Silk Road. These coins had been stolen by a hacker from Silk Road, but they were subsequently seized. Earlier, objections to the forfeiture were filed by Battleborn Investment Company. However, a judicial ruling at the end of 2024 denied Battleborn Investment Company's bid to block the sale. Of course, many crypto enthusiasts noted that such a hasty decision to allow the sale of confiscated bitcoins made during the previous administration of the US president contradicted Trump's campaign platform. Trump was elected as a clear supporter of cryptocurrencies with the idea of creating Bitcoin reserves for the country. Meanwhile, the sale of 69,000 BTC would clearly impact the price of Bitcoin. Thus, years later, the Bitcoins that were on Silk Road continue to influence both the cryptocurrency's price and actually the political agenda in the US. So, by the way, as of February 2025, the seized amount of BTC mentioned is equivalent to $6.7 billion. Well, interestingly, right after the pardon, Coinbase director Conor Grogan stated that he had identified around 430 BTC in wallets associated with Silk Road founder Ross Ulbricht. Well, apparently, in 2013, this was something like dust in various wallets. The amount seemed insignificant at the time. Today, it's worth over $40 million. But do they really belong to Ulbricht, and does he have access to them? That still remains a mystery. The crypto community also did not remain indifferent. For example, the cryptocurrency exchange Kraken announced that it would donate $111,111 in Bitcoin to Ross Ulbricht. Despite the fact that Ross Ulbricht's shadow platform still evokes mixed opinions, the anonymity and ability to pay in BTC literally made Bitcoin a mega popular payment method. The drop in Bitcoin's price after Ulbricht's arrest, the volume of payments in BTC, and the support of Dread Pirate Roberts after his release, all of this indicates the significant role Silk Road played in the history of the first cryptocurrency. So, do you want to know more about important historical events and the history of cryptocurrency? Then like this video and subscribe to the channel, and there are definitely more videos to come. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next story.